Кстати, Blackjack, ты часть 4 прочитал 4 главу? Просмотрел, прослушал?
Там, где сначала Рад Скорпион?
Это уже 5 глава, Скорпион, хотя...
Подожди.
Да, все правильно, да, это я туплю.
Да, я ее, по-моему, не дочитал, но там, по-моему, там пару страниц осталось, поэтому считаю, что дочитал.
Не, чувак, тебе нужно видеть концовочку самую.
Да ладно. Ну, это будет приятным сюрпризом.
Нет, это не будет приятным сюрпризом, тебе это нужно видеть сейчас. So, Escalion, we will actually start at the end of chapter 4 because Blackjack hasn't actually finished it, and I want to see basically the footnote.
So are we gonna read chapter 4 all
No,
over?
we're going to read only like the very extremely last part, like the very final part of the chapter 4.
Wait. Have you read chapter 4?
Yes,
And
we
you have
actually
recording of chapter 4.
Yes. Okay, Blackjack. So, click on link and type this phrase. Type this link, Control F, and type this phrase.
I know how to use search.
Yeah.
Searching things. So, and
Okay,
what?
Scallion do the same. Chapter 4 and Control F this phrase.
What phrase? Oh.
Yeah,
If
you look at
I
it,
see.
Oh, that's like the very bottom. So are you gonna just read the
yes.
finalization?
New player.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so yeah, basically, Blackjack, that's what I wanted you to see. That's little surprise in chapter 4 I was telling you about.
Я даже дочитал практически до конца. Ну ладно.
Are you sure this is who you want to be? Yes, no, yes. New player, Frenedy Lily. Strength 2, Perception 7, Endurance 2, Charisma 9, Intelligence 7, Agility 6, Luck 8. Traits, Small Frame. You gain +1 agility and enemies have -5 penalty to hit you, but your limbs suffer 25% more limb damage. This does not affect actual damage taken. Good natured. All non-combat skills are increased by +5. All combat skills are decreased by -5. You're sweet and good at figuring out how to solve your problems without hitting other ponies. Some pony paid attention in kindergarten. As a drawback, however, you sometimes struggle to deal with those that didn't pay attention to things like share your toys and don't hit other ponies with bricks. Level up. New perk. Kissed by security.
Okay,
Yes.
this is funny.
For good or for ill, security herself kissed you. You now pick up the benefits, quote-unquote, of Wild Wasteland, even if you are not level 1. Welcome to a new, wilder, and weirder life. I'm going to say it in Russian. Что ж, Blackjack дала Тренти, по сути, бесплатную дикую пустошь. Однако. And offers notes, yeah, that's about it with chapter 4. So I just wanted for Blackjack to see this little footnote, and yeah.
Author's note okay, about new player. Okay, got that.
Yes, that's
That's
kind of symbolic of that the fanfic is going to properly begin from now on. So, chapter 5 is everywhere. Tell me whenever you'll be ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Wait.
So,
yes. Chapter 5. Found it. Shame.
I'll read the introduction.
Okay, let me start, and then I will pass the word to you, Skylar.
Okay.
Fallout Equestria Project Horizon Speak, written by Hardshide. Chapter 5, Shame. Skylar, proceed.
One pony's trauma is another pony's loss of innocence. If we share our story with some pony who shows empathy and understanding, shame can survive. Rose Pickled, Ministry of Peace Heartlander, 2 years before the war has ended.
The next few days were horribly boring and mundane. I finished healing, but Sandalwood had pretty much banned me from seeing Blackjack until she was sure I was back on my hooves. As a consequence, I spent a lot of time alone. So I took over my duties of working with blackjack, which only added my own worries, which only added to my own worries about my fellow Hotmender's mental state. So it was just gone somewhere. I assumed she was meeting with Harshine and at the Fluttershy Medical Center. Slade would keep an eye on me when he was in Hartmender Wing, but that wasn't a lot. He always seemed really nervous, and I figured it was because of my medic's overdose. I believed him when he said he'd given me a low dose, but it still made me wonder, what in the world happened back there at Collegiate? Why would any pony want to give me too much? I was like the lowest of the low when it came to the Heartlanders. If anything, I was the most replaceable. Thoughts about my replaceability and general uselessness lent itself rather well to my maudlin mood as I spent time in bed, trying to slip away the ennui of my body's recovery. Perhaps most distressing, no one would tell me that what Blackjack was doing. Sled would just look uneasy and change the subject. When I tried to press, he assured me not to worry about. It echoed what I'd learned, what I'd heard about Unstable 99. Don't think about it. All in all, my thoughts and need for healing made for made for a very lonely, dreary experience. I'd become accustomed to being around ponies, gotten used to seeing a group of clients every day, but now I was left in silence and wasn't allowed to the Star House. It gave me a lot more time in the company of my thoughts when I really wanted to spend. I sent my mom a letter updating her on what had happened between my last letter about how well I was doing in the Elysium and now. Absolutely everything's mail delivery service was employing icons by the dozens, and I thought that my mom would write back, but it'd been a week and there was no reply. There never was really. My pay largely went back to her in Junction City, and all I got to enjoy was silence. Okay, as a quite little break, I would like to say that there is a song which with a little, there is quite good song which this little rem line reminds me of. Hold on, I would like to share it with you. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
Should I turn this song on to for the recording?
Yes, we can listen it. I prefer the acoustic version to the original, so I will link that. There you go. This song. I strongly encourage you to listen to it when you will have some time. It's very, very good.
Короче, включать эту музыку на запись или нет?
Нет, не стоит, она просто со словами, поэтому.
Ну, после записи тогда.
После записи, да. So, okay, sorry for this little distraction. Where is
Let's continue. Вот гномя.
okay, yeah. City. Whenever it was really. My pay largely went back to Hyunjin City, and all I got in return was silence. I hated this. I hated the waiting. Slade said that I could start seeing Blackjack again as soon as I got home. Well, she'd never be home soon enough. The big Victorian home looked less like an imposing house haunted by ghosts and monsters. Now it just looked like a cage. I wanted to start doing something different. I'd counted my carefully hoarded cups and found I'd been able to save a touch over 400. So, with what little money I had, I was going to get myself a weapon. If Chapel had any I could afford. Maybe Blackjack could help me learn to shoot later. As I stared at the cups, I felt it before I heard it. That sickening stew of self-loathing and tar-like depression. Only one mare I knew had that cocktail, and could appear whenever she damned well liked.
Hey.
Blackjack croaked from the seat beside my bed. In spite of myself, I nearly jumped out of my own skin. Hey, yourself! I replied, rolling onto my belly as I sat down on the old copy of Hartmander's Monthly I'd been reading. Please, tell me that you can't actually read minds, because that would be weird, but I was literally just thinking about you. I exclaimed. Uh, Background noises, can you please cut them off, whoever you are?
Sorry.
Can you? It's fine, it's just a little distraction. Okay, please tell me that you can't actually read minds, because that would be weird. But I was literally just thinking about you, I exclaimed, trying to keep the excitement out of my voice. When my glee melted away as I beheld her. Her stripped mane was a dirty tangle, dark shadows encircled her bloodshot eyes staring at me. Fuck, had she not slept since I'd been hurt? Uh, Blackjack? I asked quietly. You don't look so good. Do, do you worried about me?
Been a rough day, few rough days. It didn't take long, huh? Go for a walk and I nearly got you killed.
She said, shaking her head and gritting her teeth, her eyes shimmering with tears.
Fuck, it's all I ever do.
My heart sank. Oh goodness. No wonder I had been hesitant to tell me how she was doing. I cautiously reached a hoof off of my bed to lightly pat her head. Blackjack, it was a complete accident. If anything, you saved my life. And possibly glitters.
Brahmin shit.
She said as she out the window, her eyes narrowed as if she saw a veteran scorpion reflected in the glass.
Drove you off by acting like a moron. If I'd been faster, that scorpion wouldn't have touched you. I shouldn't have touched you.
She smashed a hoof down on a medical tray beside me, sending the remains of my lunch flying as she rolled to her hoofs.
I'm fucking security. You'd think I could keep some fucking ponies secure for once.
I frowned. Blackjack, you did keep me secure. And you don't have to take responsibility for my feelings. That's why I flew off. Because I was feeling things and needed a minute to think. I should have checked to make sure that there wasn't anything at the bridge when I landed on it. I I looked down at my own hooves. You were amazing. I was the one that sort of just played way uselessly. I barely even touched a gun, let alone know how to shoot one. I could have not been completely and utterly useless, even I couldn't have not been completely and utterly useless, even if I'd had the option.
Sure, you could have. If I'd been paying attention rather than talking sex with your friend, I could have gone for help. We could have taken that thing out without anyone getting stabbed.
She paced back and forth and gave a dangerous laugh, full of hard, bitter edges.
They wouldn't even let me. They wouldn't even. They wouldn't even
Yeah,
let me know that you
the,
nearly died. Can you imagine? I had to teleport to Sandalwood's office to read the letter. That's how I found that you were unconscious and 3 fragrant days later in a letter.
she snapped, and her magic lifted the tray and flung it against the wall. I jumped at the sound, and the sudden outburst of violence. Everything we'd done was about to be lost in her mounting fury. Her fury rolled around my room, and it took all of my inner will to not get lost in it. Taking in a deep, centering breath, I moved aside and patted my back. Lakshak, could you sit here with me? I asked. I'm sorry, but no one told you anything. I don't even know everything because Sled thinks that I was intentionally overdosed on Med X, which was why I was out for a few days. My ears drooped. I honestly wanted to make sure you were okay too. It's been really lonely just laying here. She calmed, but her blazing anger contracted into something colder.
What? Intentionally overdosed? You mean poisoned?
With anger condensed in and distilled into something I hoped I'd never feel from Blackjack. Hate.
Who?
I patted my back again and shrugged. I don't I mean I frowned as my words failed me, and my tongue tied up in a knot. So I think that's what happened. I think that one of the nurses probably just made a mistake on my dose of medics, and it was all an accident. I mean, I'm not exactly dating you here. Who would want me out of the way? And of what? A moment later, and it was out. Like a candle being blown, the rage and hate disappeared, and the hollow depression drifted in like evening fog to fill the void. She staggered over to the foot of my bed and sat down.
Damn.
She muttered, rubbing her face with her hoof. Her horn glowed and righted the tray. Then it was pink as the dancers moved out, and finally the hole in the plaster was mended. I watched in awe as Belgium's magic repaired the tray and wall. I didn't think her magic was strong enough to do that.
They wouldn't tell me anything. I was ready to kill some pony. Sleep trapped kept trying to push my button, and I wasn't in the mood for sex.
She gave a laugh utterly devoid of mirth.
kind of shocked when I told him that.
Well, no offense, Blackjack, but you're kind of a notorious hornball. It's no wonder that he was a little shocked and confused, I said, lightly pushing my Scootaloo plushie toward her. I don't know what happened, Blackjack. I wish I did, but it's okay now. I'm fine. I just was supposed to wait to see you until Sandalwood came back. I glowered slightly towards the direction of the Fluttershy Medical Center. Which is taking entirely far too long to do, I grumbled. She frowned and her magic opened the door to my room.
Slate,
She called out.
where's Sandalwood?
A few moments later, a rubber-winded Slate stuck his head through the door. His soft mane was masked and akimbo as he looked at the pair of us.
Can I take him?
No.
All right then. Go ahead.
Fluttershy Medical.
He gasped, leaning against the wall.
I was so confused why you went here when you disappeared.
He wheezed.
I need to exercise more.
Blackjack disappeared in a flash of magic.
Oh goodness, not again.
He groaned as he rubbed his face.
I just sprinted over here from Star House.
I pulled Scootaloo close to my chest with my forelegs. Well, at least you know where she's going, I said helpfully, knowing that it wouldn't improve Slate's mood. As long as she doesn't run into Cinnamon, she'll be fine, I shuddered at the thought. And if we see a small mushroom cloud coming from the direction of the medical center, we'll know she found Cinnamon and not Sandalwood. Slate grimaced at me.
Hardy har har. What does it mean?
He shook his... How do I explain it? Okay, just Google it. It has pretty good explanation.
Okay.
He shook his head.
Bingo, kind of.
Yeah. There is rather good definition on Google, but yeah, I can't provide it right now, sorry. He shook his head and consulted his speedball. He was now a flash, and the bloodshot Blackjack reappeared with a wild-eyed Sandalwood. Anybody? Sandalwood gasped as she peered around and gasped.
Where? Serenity?
Blackjack grabbed her by the shoulders and gave her a little shake.
Tell her she can start seeing me again.
Sandalwood started as she was shaken and took a half second to compose herself.
Okay, first of all, that was highly improver Blackjack.
Blackjack?
Yeah, sorry. Tell her she can start seeing me again.
Blackjack intoned, making a vain twitch in Sandalwood's temple.
I was going to say that you two could see each other as soon as I got done with my meeting.
She looked around the room, giving Slate and eye glare for a good measure.
But fine, you can see her again. Serenity feels up to the task.
I nodded my assent as Sandalwood glanced my way, and she turned her gaze back to Blackjack.
Better?
She asked, glaring at her client.
Now please, no more interruptions until I'm done with my meeting with Heartshine and Velvet Remedy.
She said, Sandalwood's horn casting the warm honey glow of her magic about herself, and she disappeared with a soft pop. Slate chuckled.
You know what that feeling when one kid gets in trouble, but it feels like everyone gets in trouble? That's
He said, shaking his head.
Do you feel better now, Blackjack?
A soft snore answered him. She lay across the foot of my bed, tightly hugging my Scootaloo plushie to her chest. I sighed and shrugged helplessly at Slate, and went back to my magazine. Asterix break.
Esther's Green. Yes.
So,
And Abelus.
what can you say about the first part of this little chapter? Any opinions? Skylian?
I don't know. It's just picking it up where it left off. Basically, it's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Though I still hate her mother a lot.
Oh, trust me, this Sunday you're about to hate you much, much more.
I can't wait to have Blackjack gouge out her eyes and rape her and throw the body into, I don't know.
Okay, let me just say you don't know the full story quite
Fuck's
yet.
sake.
Oh, he's gonna have a
But-
sub story, so Blackjack would leave him alone. Eh?
No. I was just saying that you don't know everything about Himaba yet. There is something special
Mother
about her.
of
Frenedy.
Oh.
Mother of Frenedy. Because I think, wait, maybe we're going to know in this. I can't remember. It's either this or the next one, and I can't for the life of me remember which one. But I guess we'll know rather soon. Okay. Also, as we on the break, I would recommend you to listen to the song I gave you. It's very short, like 3 minutes
Very
long.
well.
Okay, I can.
It's about that Frenedy writing letters to her mother. I think it's very relevant.
Тогда я включаю эту песню, выключаю микрофон, выключаю вас, и вы ждете меня, пока она споет. Мгм.
Yes, exactly.
It's getting hard to write, and late into the night. It's been a while now. I toss the mail around. I hope you've been alright. I'm eager just to know where from this point I go. 'Cause I can tell you now, I've made my way around, but I never seem to grow. If you can see right through this letter, then all the tears are clearly shown. I guess it must be for the better, but I just thought I'd let you know. My ink is running out as midnight comes around. I guess I'll close it up. I think I've said enough, 'cause I'm just waiting for you now. If you can see right through this letter, then all the tears are clearly shown. I guess it must be for the better, but I just thought I'd let you know. If you can see right through this letter, then all the tears are clearly shown. And still I know you'll never answer, but I just thought I'd let you know.
Yes, it's not bad.
Godnota. So, would you say that it's appropriate for the moment I chose?
Kinda.
You know, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the moment when John Wick soundtrack would be в
Maybe.
тему. Где
Yeah.
файты? Хочу файт. Короче,
Okay, so let's. Okay, if everyone said anything they wanted, maybe we shall continue. Or is there anything else you can add to your opinions on chapter, the song, or like anything that's going on in the story?
Not really, I wouldn't say so.
Fair enough. Blackjack, yeah.
pass. Let's
Okay,
continue.
so we shall continue. Escalion, you start.
Yes. One moment. Okay. So, you want to learn to fight?
Blackjack asked a day later. Before in the woods behind Star House, the sky was getting overcast, threatening a rainstorm like the bad old days.
Why?
I couldn't meet
No,
her
that's...
eyes. Yes, yeah. I couldn't meet her eyes. I've spent all my life being safe, I said, lightly rubbing at the cuff of a new pea buck that Sandalwood had brought for me the night before. The cuff itched, and I was still trying to get used to having a little compass in my field of view. I resolved to take the damaged things off as soon as possible. At least I'd learn how to turn the eyes toward sparkle, or EFS, from a gross amber color to a lovely blue. Mom always kept me shut in the house so I wouldn't get into trouble. Willow Glen sheltered me when I first joined the Heartminders, and even my first assignments with the Heartminders were in really safe places around the wasteland. I sighed. Getting attacked by the Red Scorpion made me realize just how helpless I really am. I want to change that. Even just a little bit, I admitted. She just stared at me a moment, her gaze wistful.
You're not really helpless, you know. With your EFS, you'll be aware of danger. You can take steps to avoid it. Have others take on that responsibility.
But I don't want them to. What would have happened if I'd been alone? I would have died. I mean, I love my duster, I explained, looking down at my coat, that now had a massive hole in the right side. But it isn't good on armor. I've never even fired a gun. Mom wouldn't let me. Nurse took a deep breath.
Okay, you gave the right answer. If you talked about wanting to feel safe, we were going to have words.
She scanned the woods.
The fact is, you're never completely safe. You're also in less danger than you imagine most of the time, too. Trick is finding the most comfortable spot between the two.
She gave me a half smile.
So, had any thoughts on how you'd like to fight?
I really hadn't. Oh, oh dear. Um, well, I'm pretty sure that I shouldn't try to fight with my hooks. And I would be really bad with like a knife, I think. So, maybe pistols? I offered, trying to think of what I knew about weapons. I know Glitterbomb is super good with explosives. Like, I was watching her practice one day and she can like make what seems like an impossible bounce happen for them. It's crazy. I winced slightly as a few emotions flickered under Blackjack's calm, teacher-like veneer. But she held herself together, so I continued. But I tried to leave her grenade pointer thingy. I tried, okay? But it was way too heavy. She nodded slowly.
So, you should probably consider a battle saddle. Of course, I don't want you to think to wear it like your duster over your duster. Might need some real barding too.
Do we even make battle saddles in my size? I asked, looking up at her. I mean, I know it's Leif's one he keeps in his room, but that'd be huge on me,
I know a guy that can make you one for you if you're interested.
she said, and took a deep breath.
It's a big change to be able to kill. I didn't respect it when I was young. I didn't realize how it changes you. You can kill ponies, bang, and they're in pain and bleeding, and bang, they're dead. Maybe they're just a beast of a mindless ghoul, but you can also be a person, someone with family. Are you sure you want that change?
I looked down at the ground. I don't want to kill anyone, I admitted. I watched Stalin blow his brains out in front of me. That That was the worst. I shook myself trying to banish memory that floated on the edge of my vision. Part of why I have a scars on my back. But I want to be like Velvet Remedy, just with less singing. To know enough to protect myself, but I don't want to be cause of anybody's death.
Neither did I.
Jack replied, leaning in towards me as her voice dropped to a stage whisper.
Turns out I'm really bad at it. Really good at it.
She lifted the pistol from her saddlebags.
This is a simple F-18 9mm pistol. One bloody setup from a BB gun.
She said as she lifted it before me.
You want to hold it?
My heart pounded in my chest as I looked over the firearm. It looked simple enough, with a standard mouth grip and tongue trigger. Something about it set my nerves on edge, and the thought of holding it just terrified me. I swallowed and nodded to her. The safe is on, right?
Is it?
She asked, her face a smiling mask, but she was testing me.
Do you want to hold it?
I looked at the weapon again, that dull thudding in my chest getting worse by the moment. I knew next to nothing about guns. I didn't even know which of the slides of the mouth grip were for ejecting the clip and which was for safety. Blackjack, I don't even know what on the gun. I said, my ears laying back slightly. I want to hold it, but I know you have to respect the gun and what it can do.
Good answer. Never hold a gun that you don't understand, and always treat it as something that can kill. It's not a toy.
She even walked me through every knob, switch, and part and made me repeat them until I could identify them. Then she showed me how to check the chamber and how to load and unload magazines without taking the gun out of my mouth. 3 hours later, she adjusted the gun so that it rested against my right cheek.
Okay, you're not a unicorn, so get used to aiming with one eye. You'll work out ignoring the other eye. It just comes down with practice.
Aiming involves a lot of squinting and getting 3 bars to line up towards my target. When the gun was level, they almost united in a single dot. That was where the bullet was supposed to go. Finally, she magically set an empty sparkle cola bottle on a stump. The hilt had rising behind it and passed me a magazine.
Good luck.
She said as she settled back. I swallowed and loaded the magazine just like she'd shown me. I wasn't really fast about it, but that went in okay. My tongue slid the safety off as I emptied the bottle. Oh, great. I found I could look downrange, but I wasn't the steadiest gun in the West. Just holding still to try to line up the sights and the bottle were a real challenge. I must have stood there for a good minute trying to line up my shot and suddenly... crack! The pistol fired, but the shot went depressingly wide. The sparkle cola bottle mocked me from the stump as I watched a puff of sawdust fly from a dead tree a good 50 feet behind and 20 feet to the left of the stump. It also felt like someone had kicked me firmly in the mouth. I gritted my teeth, took a deep breath, and tried to fire again. This time I hit the stump, but not the bottle. My teeth hurt from the recoil, and I felt my ears droop. This was harder than it looked. How did the Reapers make it look so easy? I fired another shot and missed again.
You're tensing your jaw too much. Too tight. Twist, and it twists a gun too loose. And you'll break your teeth. Try again.
She instructed calmly. I snorted, then walked my jaw to relax it a touch. Okay, relaxed but in control. Kinda like when you're doing breathing exercises. I got this. I fired the fourth round, and while I missed and hit the stump again, the bullet thudded into the wood right below the bottle. Okay, breathing. That seemed to help. I took another deep breath, took aim, and fired again. The bullet grazed the bottle, wiggling it about on the stump, but the stubborn target remained upright. I grumbled around the mouth bit.
You're tensing your neck before you fire. You have to keep it steady too.
I took aim for the 6th time. Crack! Smash! The bottle shattered as I connected with it just above the white base. I did a little happy dance on my hooves, bouncing from side to side as I... Crack! The gun went off in my mouth. I barely picked it up in my celebration, and the rest of the gun was pointed. Blackjack clutched her shoulder, eyes clenched tight, and teeth beat as she pressed her hoof to a bloody hole I'd made in her shoulder right beside her chest.
1 second. 1 second. Okay, so this happens every fucking time.
Yes.
Everyone shoots Blackjack at least once.
Yes.
In Blackjack's face.
Uh,
But this time, this was not in face.
Actually, as soon as they took out the gun, I was waiting for this. I was waiting for her to shoot.
I knew that. I just knew that.
I knew
it's gonna end like this. Yes. Shouldn't
Okay.
face.
Yeah. My eyes. Yeah, that's tradition. Okay. Make it like tradition meme song here. Insert. Okay. 1 second. One more second. Sorry.
Что, будет песня?
No, but it's not going to be song. I just. Okay, never mind.
Привет, Аббат.
I think he just left.
Он давно здесь.
He's here.
No, it's not him. Well,
Oh.
who left then?
I don't know. I thought someone
Shooty.
joined.
It was Shooty.
He was.
Never
Oh,
mind.
Rip Shooty.
Rip Shooty. Who cares? Okay, sorry. My eyes fully opened wide as he flicked the safety on and dropped the gun, running over to her. I'm sorry. I said, tears welling up in my eyes. I'd shot her. Blusha grimaced as she held the hoof to her shoulder, but her grimace soon pulled upward into that unmistakable smile. Yes, Blackjack actually smiled.
Yeah, I've been shot worse.
She muttered, levitating out a hidden potion and drinking it. It might have gotten rid of a wound, but it did nothing for the blood smeared across her limb.
So, what would have happened if I was someone a little less used to being shot?
He could have died, I sobbed, curling up on the ground in front of her. If it had been any higher, lower, or to the left, that would... My breath hitched in my throat as guilt and frustration washed over me. I'd hurt someone because I was being careless.
Yeah, killed me.
She said with a smile,
Could you imagine Sandalwood?
and she adopted my boss's nasally voice.
Oh, Threnody! Now I'm going to have to fill out 20 pages of paperwork. How could you?
She was choking? She was choking!
Oh, well, it's Remedy. Oh, I'm sure you tried your best just to grace her a little. I'm disappointed, but I forgive you.
She said breathlessly.
Of course, Cinnamon would give you a medal.
I knew she was trying to lighten the situation, but it really just made things worse. I stared up at her, tears running down my cheeks as I listened to her. I visibly flinched at the idea of Velvet being disappointed in me, and I didn't want to know anything that would make Cinnamon happy. I didn't want to hurt anyone. My nose suddenly felt really warm, and I tapped my hoof to it. It came back covered in blood. Oh, damn it all! I swore, rubbing my muzzle. I'm so sorry, Blackjack, was all I could manage.
Hey, it's okay.
She said, and I could feel it. She really was okay with it. I'd shot her, and she was okay. She wasn't even peeved.
I've been shot by almost every friend I had. I guess it just makes it official.
She levitated the gun up.
Remember, it never stops being dangerous till there are no more bullets in it. Happy, sad, angry, all it takes is one moment of fooling around and it can go off.
She stared at me.
The magazine holds 10 rounds. How many rounds are left in the gun?
I wiped my bloody nose and got to my hoofs. 4. 3 in the magazine and 1 in the chamber. I said, pulling a tissue from my saddlebags to wipe my eyes.
You sure?
She asked, let's set up 4 more empty bottles in a row.
Here, 4 vicious blood sprites. Finish them off with your 4 bullets.
I took the gun from her, careful to keep it aimed at the ground when froze. I'd miscounted. I set the gun down. Where's 3 bullets? I forgot about the one I shot you with, I admitted.
So, what are you going to have to do between the blood sprites 3 and 4?
She asked with a smile as she lifted out another magazine. I
Reload.
swallowed.
Oh, sorry.
I swallowed. Reload. I said, taking the magazine and setting it down near my left hoof. I focused down range and fired off my last 3 bullets. Only 2 connected, but I quickly flicked the magazine release and popped the new magazine in. Cocking the gun, I fired 2 more rounds, both striking the bottles. I still didn't like the gun. After feeling Blackjack's pain at being shot, I didn't know if I could take killing someone. I turned safety to on and cleared the chamber of the gun before passing back to her.
Good job.
She said as she packed it away.
You'll need a holster unless you decide to go with a battle saddle. You'll also need to learn how to handle yourself up close.
She paused as she regarded me.
How's the nose?
I sniffed. I'll be fine. I always get nosebleeds when I feel guilty.
Funny. I thought that was only happened to colts.
She said with her eyes smile.
If you're interested in arcane weaponry, you'd better talk to an Enclave pony. I don't know how any of it works. Heck, the first time I saw a beam pistol, I pointed it right up my nose.
That sounds unwise, I said, when shook myself. Wait, what is this about cults and nosebleeds? I asked. What in the world was she on about now?
Never mind.
She said with a wry smile.
Of course, you're going to need a lot more practice. Shooting at range. Hitting something moving. Good things I have a huge supply of empty bottles.
I nodded in agreement with her. Could we take a break for now? Is your shoulder going to be okay? I asked, trying to not get overwhelmed by guilt again. She just looked at me, almost amused.
Serenity, how I've been hurt in any way worse than that. I was ripped in two, nailed to the floor, and shot more than 3 times a mare should. If this wasn't a stupid blind body, you'd see the mess I was.
My ears wilted. But that's the first time I've hurt you. That's why I feel bad. She cocked her head a little.
Well, I know one surefire way to make me feel better.
She said with her usual cocky grin of lechery. She she followed it up with,
Maybe not. After all, I owe you for that first kiss. Call it even.
I scratched up my muzzle as I listened to her. Wait, she owed me? Why did... I didn't... I shook myself and ruffled my feathers. Hey, Blackjack? She asked. Thanks, I said quietly, for helping me and for being understanding.
You're cute. Don't fake it. You don't fake it. You don't nag. And you blush a lot. That makes us even.
She said as the rain started to hiss through the trees. I giggled. We should probably get in, but I'm glad that I'm at least kinda helpful. But I'm not like shooting you, I said with a blush. She leaned in and before I could pull back, kissed my cheek.
Don't worry about it.
When she started back towards our house, calling back over her shoulder.
Worry about that what Sandra was going to do when I tell her you shot me.
She said with a laugh. My blush deepened for the briefest moment at the kiss to my cheek. Then he was sworn the way to my prefrontal cortex. Wait! You're fine! Please don't tell Sandalwood! I called out as I darted after her. Asterix break.
No,
One
So
moment.
yeah, that's something. What
Traditional.
happened?
Просто too traditional for me. It
Yeah.
happens every time. Well, yep.
Yeah. Just casually being shot in the face by a friend. It makes it official, as Blackjack put it. It makes it official.
I so saw that coming.
I think everybody did who read Project Horizon, so
Most likely.
yeah. So okay, one more second and we shall continue.
Yep. In the meantime, I'm trying to land on the smallest airfield in this game whilst not having. I'm going to send a screenshot. This is
Sure.
all I'm seeing right now.
What
I'm
about
not even
buying?
joking.
What about buying? Like
I
version?
have bought the SU-35 or SU-33. I am yet to try it out. I'm just trying to get through with the tutorials so I understand the game better.
Did you see what I sent you?
Mhm. Pretty expensive.
Well, it's $50.
Mhm.
So, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 jets, or 6.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
Are
but
we ready?
one moment. I just want to finish my thought here. Yes, but I just bought a PC case, which is yet to arrive. Cool, like thermal paste, a CPU cooler, and I'm buying a new phone at the end of this month. So I'm horrible at.
Нихуя себе.
Yeah.
Я этого не говорил.
I second that.
Мы это вырежем. Хотя мне лень. Ну, насчет телефона я тоже собираюсь покупать, но кейс у меня вполне годный. So, let's continue.
Okay. About time. Skyline, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Sandalwood caught me next morning as I tried to sneak out of a hard manor wind without bothering anyone. Growing up with Mom, I'd mastered the art of silence. She taught me from a young age to keep quiet, especially when she was entertaining guests. The fact that all those guests happened to be stallions and they always left bags of cups for her when they left was neither here nor there to her. The only sound I'd made that morning was running the shower, and I was almost to the door when Sandalwood stuck her head out of her room.
Serenity, hold on a moment.
She called, trotting out of her room. Her pretty curly mane was done up in curlers that she'd gotten from Luna knows where as she trotted into the kitchen.
I just wanted to talk to you about the message we received from Triage.
Funny, I didn't remember swallowing a whole apple this morning. I trotted over to the kitchen table and sat down. Is it bad? I asked, my mind jumping into worst-case scenarios. Sandalwood shook her head, smiling kindly.
No, sweetie, it's not bad.
She said quietly.
I just wanted to warn you because you're getting towards spring. Triage said that your uterus and ovaries should be fine and that your fallopian tubes should be completely healed without any scarring.
She gave me a gentle look as she popped some bread into a toaster.
She just didn't want you to go running back crying. Month's period was, because this month's period was a bit more painful for you.
I blinked at her. Period? Oh, right. That thing that happened when your body told you it was upset with you for daring to not have a fall, and your uterus felt like it was chewing its way out of your abdomen with sharp, pointy hellhound teeth while you bleed for a few days. That will happen to other mayors, but not me. Thank the goddesses. Oh, I should be fine. I said, pulling my wings tight to myself. I haven't had one yet, so maybe I won't win this month either? I added hopefully. I jumped slightly as the toaster popped. Sandwood paused, a buttered knife balancing above the bread held in her cool brown magic.
Wait, you never had a menstrual cycle?
She frowned, spreading the butter on her bread.
That doesn't seem right. You're 14 years old. You should have had one at least by now.
I shrugged. I just never did. I figured maybe it'd start later for me, I said, trotting towards the door. I frowned as Sandwood's magic held the door closed and turned to face her. What? I asked. Toast appeared in front of my muzzle.
Eat.
She sat waiting for me to take the toast.
I didn't hear you grab breakfast, and he didn't think I have noticed you skipping meals when you were with Blackjack.
Sandwood's brown eyes softened.
Sweetie, amenorrhea is a very serious condition, especially for fillies your age. Is everything alright?
she asked, brushing a bit of auburn mane behind her ear as she shook me up and down. As she looked me up and down, I looked down at her offered toast and sighed. Yes, Sandalwood, everything is fine, I said exasperatedly. But I'll make sure I grab lunch while I'm out with Blackjack today. Okay? I opened my mouth to grab the toast, then stopped. Wait, Sandalwood? When we get out stipend, can you ask them to not send so much to my mom? I asked. Sandalwood blinked at me.
Wait, I thought you got most of your stripping.
I shook my head. No, most of it goes to my mom back in Junction City. I explained, hoping that this didn't lead to another discussion about how I couldn't manage my cups. She gets most of it because she arranged it with Hutchin and Cinnamon. She only makes about 400 cups a month as the secretary for the mayor, so she's saving it for me. But I think I should be allowed to have a bit more. I mean, not much, I said, holding up my left hoof. Just maybe enough so I get 200 cups every stipend day as opposed to 40. Sandalwood's
One
kind brown
moment.
eyes widened. Okay. Uh, cue lift music here. Or cue elevator music here.
I'm sorry, people have the habit of entering my room
It's fine.
randomly. Thank you. Okay,
It's more than fine.
it's just my mom. All right, where were we? Oh yeah, yeah. Sandalwood's kind eyes widen.
Okay. Okay. So hold on. I lost myself. Give me a second. There we go. Sandalwood's kind brown eyes widened at my request.
Sweeney, don't you get 500 caps a stipend a day?
She asked slowly, concern evident on her pretty face. Well, yes, but the rest goes back to my mom. I just explained that, I said, stamping my hand proof in frustration. I just like a bit more so I can start getting my own supplies. 40 cups only pays for food, really, or more like snacks. It took me 5 months to save up to the 400 I have on me, and that was cause I just sort of went without.
Serenity, that's not
Sandalwood, why are you holding toast in front of... Oh, Slate, sorry, go ahead. Slate. Slate?
blackjack. Blackjack, bleep. I'll just take him. Sandalwood, why are you holding toast in front of Serenity's face?
Slate asked as he came out of his room. I took the opportunity to snap the toast. Thanks, bye. I sat around with toast as I darted out of the door. I chopped on the buttered toast as I made my way to Starhouse's front door. If everybody was going to make a big deal about it, then maybe I should just stop asking about my pay. Some of Slate and Sandalwood had gotten upset with me for talking about it. Maybe this was why pre-war etiquette books said not to bring up topics of money and politics into polite company. I pushed a big mahogany door open and swiveled an ear as I listened to Blackjack. She wasn't awake yet from the sounds of snoring from upstairs, but I noticed that the main room was actually tidier than the first time I'd entered. There were still a few empty whiskey and sparkle cola bottles about, but they were all neatly placed on the island in the kitchen. The ones that weren't on the island sat in a small trash can next to the base of the stairs. Hmm, maybe we were making progress. At least she was speaking up after herself. I checked on Blackjack's supplies and noticed that most of the whiskey that Nails had brought was still unopened in her refrigerator. Weird. The only things that seemed to be low were her sparkle colas and ramen milk. My stomach rumbled, protesting the fact that I had only had one slice of toast, so I raided her cupboards for a cherry snack cake. She probably wouldn't miss it. Cake in mouth, I snagged the sparkle cola cherry that was hidden in the back of the fridge and sat down on her couch. Even the stains were gone still, which meant she was baking slate upstairs. Huzzah! The couch was thus far unsullied by gross bodily fluids. I frowned up at the ceiling as I lay back on the couch. Why was Sandalwood so worried about me not having a period? I mean, if anything, it was kinda nice that I hadn't had one yet. I didn't want to deal with being crabby and bouncy for about a week prior to it. If my mom's descriptions of what it was like was accurate, I wanted to have falls of my own eventually, but right now I was so busy with being a hard mender that I really didn't have time for them. So the fact that my body was obeying that lack of desire was kind of nice, really. So what the hell was everybody's problem? I sighed and rolled over onto my timer. My invited slate seemed to think that I'd been intentionally overdosed on medics. I mean, I was literally no pony. I mean, sure, Fletcher seemed to stabilize as she spent time with me, but if I died, in the grand scheme of things, it wouldn't matter. I was the youngest, least experienced Heartmender, which made me expendable. So, some pony going through the effort to expend of me would be kind of silly, wouldn't it? Never really made any sense. Nobody told me anything. Sandwood was always off having her meetings with Harshine. Cinnamon was about popping in and out of ponies' lives like the dark thing in the day. Ironic considering her cream-colored coat and red mane. Slate? I frowned again. Slate was the one stable force in my life. Aside from Blackjack herself, he was calm and kind and he listened to me. I really missed being able to talk to him at night when I was on the bed rest, and if anything, he just made me feel better. Slate was safe. I just didn't want to see him get hurt because he was trying to help Blackjack work through her issues with her own sexuality. A loud clumping sound from upstairs alerted me to Blackjack's wakeful state. I sat up on my haunches and looked up the stairs as she wandered down. It made me smile to know that I wasn't the only filly who wasn't a morning pony.
Hey, kiddo. Shoot, anyone else lately?
She asked with all the subtle sensitivity of a wrecking ball with guilt plastered on its bright red paint. She walked to the refrigerator and levitated out a fancy bug cake, unwrapping it and staring a moment before she murmured.
I remember when I started feeding these boo.
I
Giving
nod,
these to boo.
yeah. I nodded, getting up from the couch and trotting over to her. Boo was the really sweet pink mare, right? I asked, trying to remember. Whatever happened to her?
She grew up, I guess. Went off to have her own adventures.
She said as she took a bite, chewed and sat down.
I doubt she'll be hanging around our place too long. I mean, once you've had discord inside you, that's got to change you, man.
I shuddered slightly at the thought. That I don't know how to feel about that, Blackjack. On one hoof, powerful magic, on the other hoof, probably a fair bit of wanderlust and shenanigans? I offered rather helplessly. But you miss her, don't you? Even though she kinda grew up.
Eh, that doesn't matter. Sunward. Oh no, no, wait.
You skipped
One.
a
Yeah,
paragraph.
I skipped one. Uh, children do, I guess. I did grew up so damn much.
She said wistfully, smiling a moment before shaking her head. Then she caught my skeptical look and pointed a hoof at me.
Hey, bad as you think, I'm back in stable 99. I was 10 times worse. Heck, I went running off towards Red Boars at DFS for the fun of it.
That doesn't sound very smart. Even if you were trying to fight and didn't shoot your friends in the face.
Yeah, most of what I've done isn't very smart, kiddo.
Okay, so
She said with a shrug.
give me 1 second. She said with a she said with a shrug.
So, what's the plan for today?
I frowned. Well, I wasn't sure. I was going to try to go into chapel to pick up my own pistol. But I got into a fight with Sandwood about finances, and now I kinda don't want to fire up my wings. All I wanted was more of my cups for my stipend.
So, what's the problem?
I bit my lip and looked down at my hooves. She got mad because she didn't know a lot of it was going back to my mom, I admitted. Then she yelled at me about eating and I'm sorry, this is supposed to be about you. She gave a wry little smirk and then teleported away in a flash. I rose to my hoofs. No, but an instant later she reappeared with a disoriented Sandalwood beside her. A wisp of black smoke rose from the tip of her horn and she hissed through her teeth at and she hissed through her teeth, beating at it with her hooves.
Ah, too hot, too hot. I need to work on those rapid teleportation spells.
It was hard to tell whether the burning from her horn came from the exertion of teleporting or from Sandalwood's toast that hung in front of Blackjack's face.
Blackjack? Darling, we've talked about this.
She looked over at me nonplussed.
Well, I wondered if that's where you've gotten to, Trinity. I assume Blackjack had something she wanted to ask me.
She cocked an eyebrow at me, taking a bite of her levitated toast.
You assume correctly.
Blackjack answered.
Freddie was talking about some issues with her pay, something about it going somewhere.
She stretched out and snagged Sandalwood's toast out of the air in one firm chomp, masticating furiously and saying around it.
No, it's okay.
Then she trotted over to the sofa, watching the pair of us. I frowned as Sandalwood's ears drooped, following the theft of her toast.
Blackjack, why?
She chewed a few more times and swallowed.
What? Doesn't
Oh,
she?
that was wait. Yes,
So-
that was my line. Okay. I found that let's redo this. I found that Sandalwood's ears drooped following the left of us. Blackjack, why? She chewed a few more times and swallowed.
What? Doesn't she handle your pay? Should I go to Velvet or Hardshine instead?
I think Alternative would be thrilled to be dragged into here. Okay. From the candid expression, she was serious. Sandalwood stepped in to save me.
To be honest, Blackjack, who set up Threndy's payment agreement, is my concern as well. So far as I knew, she was getting most of it, if not all her base in here.
She explained, offering me a level look.
It's something I plan on bringing up with Hardshine. As far as I know, Cinnamon should be responsible for things like that.
She admitted. I tried my best to make myself look very small. It's really not a big deal, honest. I just...
You just what?
Sandalwood asked, glaring at me.
Thought you could get away with being used by your mom for no without anyone caring?
Well, that was what happened in the past, so... Yeah? Suddenly we both felt a sharp, fiery emotion spiking off Blackjack.
What?
She asked flatly, in that voice of imminent impulsive action. I opened my mouth to say something in my mother's defense, but Sandalwood cut me off, her own anger seeping through her normally strong emotional shields.
Well, according to Serenity, 95% of her pay goes back to her mother. For reasons completely unknown to me.
She said, staring me down. I really wished I could teleport like Sandalwood and Blackjack in that moment.
Serenity, why didn't you say something sooner? This whole mess could have been avoided. Hold on.
Blackjack said, her anger simmering as she walked over to stand next to me.
This isn't a problem yet. All she needs to do is get her money back from her mom, right? Easy peasy.
I felt my legs wobbling as my ears and wings drooped. It isn't easy peasy, Blackjack. My mom probably spent it all already, I said quietly. She kinda is bad with money herself. She always said I would be too, so I just let her have it, because she said she was too old to be a working filly like she used to be. Blackjack didn't answer for a moment as she seemed to process it.
Kiddo, how old is your mom?
I blinked. When did my mom's age have anything to do with this? 41? Why? I asked, confused to where she was going with this.
Is she a cripple or something? Blackjack.
Sandalwood cautioned quietly. I shook my head. No, she just is getting older. She said that she had hard time pleasing stallions after she had me, so she had to find a reliable work. She works as a mayor of Junction City now, but no, she's not crippled. She just can't whore anymore, I spat.
Serenity.
Sandalwood exclaimed.
That's accurate.
Blackjack suggested before asking me.
I assume the mayor pays her, right? Your mother is not enslaved or anything.
Again, I shook my head. No. She gets paid about 400 caps a month and has a free home that she owned for a while. She just says it doesn't pay as well as when she used to work as an escort for the Mercs in Junction R7, before it became Junction City. I looked away and to the side. I sort of ruined her work for her.
Or she ruined your work because she didn't have an implant or worked that time of the year.
Blackjack sniffed.
So it's practically pretty simple. I want to meet your mom.
I don't want you to meet my mom. I want this entire conversation to be dropped, I groaned. Oh, goddesses, no. Blackjack and my mom would get along like oil and fire. Or she might try to set my mom on fire. It was really not something I wanted. Ever.
Serenity, Blackjack may have a point.
Sandalwood said.
You seem to be hiding quite a few things, sweetheart, and your eating is worrying to me. Are you sure nothing's wrong?
She asked, and the kindness behind her words stung like daggers of ice to my core. I'm fine! I shouted, my being snapping open as I tried to pull myself up. I don't want you to meet my mom. I ain't just fine. You're supposed to be helping Blackjack, not making me look dumb.
Huh.
Blackjack muttered to Sandalwood.
So that's what I put you through. Though, to be fair, I shot you more too.
Then she leaned towards me.
Here's the deal, kiddo. It might take a few jumps from Junction City till I get there. It might take some questions, but I'll find the mayor's office.
It really wouldn't take much considering that Mayor Bright Light made the mayor's residence the fanciest building in town.
Well, when I do, I'll find out one of two things. The mayor that's underpaid or a mayor that's exploiting her daughter. Now, if I find out that all this is if I find this out all on my own, I can find it out with you. But I am going to find out.
My heart thudded in my chest as I looked back and forth between Blackjack and Sandalwood. This couldn't be happening. This wasn't happening. I looked pleadingly at Sandalwood, who merely returned my look with one of concern.
Serenity,
She said gently.
what's going on?
I couldn't stop my breathing. Breaths came in and out too quickly for me to handle. My heart raced and it felt like I was dying. I was going to die! So I froze, staring in wide-eyed terror at two unicorn mares. If I didn't move, they'd leave me alone. If I was small and quiet enough, let lose interest and move on. This wasn't happening. It couldn't be happening. Blackjack looked on with a small smile, her emotion something I hadn't felt from her before. Empathy,
Panic attack.
she said softly.
You want a sleep spell or let her come down on her own?
She asked Sandalwood. Sandalwood looked at me sadly.
Stay with her a moment. She'll come down on her own, but I want to bring her this in slate. We all got questions that need us answering.
She said, teleporting away with a soft pop.
A moment, I really need to pee. I'll be right back. Just give me half a second. I've been holding it for a fucking hour.
Так.
Ой.
Так, я пока. Дадим ответ Стардрагону. Как тебе
Ещё-
голова пока, Блэкджек?
Ну, я немножко сейчас это
Кстати,
ушел
значит, так,
в транс.
я скажу так. Сейчас будет одна очень важная сцена, поэтому я бы тебе рекомендовал послушать внимательно. Сейчас будет очень важная сцена.
Ну да,
для...
встреча Блэкджек и этой мамаши.
Ой, ну, ладно, я не буду спойлерить, но все не так быстро, чувак, успокойся. Не торопи события. До встречи еще далеко.
Самый конец главы, я так понимаю.
I am back. I'm sorry.
Okay. Where we left off?
I looked back at Blackjack, my heart hammering in my chest. No, wait. It was.
Погоди, wait, hold on. I need to answer Star Dragon something.
Okay.
Just please type in chat the place so I can just control F it. Like the phrase we left off. Так, окей. Have you that? Окей. Yeah. Let's.
Say when you're ready.
Okay. Give me seconds.
Okay.
I cannot find the phrase you typed. Oh, you made a double space after. Okay,
Oh
never
yeah,
mind.
sorry.
Wait a minute. I look at Blackjack. Oh yeah. I look at Blackjack, my heart hammering my chest. Please just leave me alone. I bugged in my head. Just don't worry about it. I'm nothing to worry about it.
Well,
She asked me.
are we going to Junction City or are we staying here to answer questions?
I tried to move my mouth, but I couldn't. My tongue wouldn't budge, and I turned to marble in my mouth. Very, very slowly I shook my head. No.
Right. Nod for leaving with me to Junction City and shake your head to stay in here and answer questions.
She said evenly.
Won't be long before they return.
Luna, damn it, why? Why was she asking me this? What could she do to fix the problem? Why would taking on my mom even help? Then again, did I really want to answer questions? I didn't. I couldn't. Why couldn't everyone just leave me alone? She could ask me to pick one of the options. I elected for option 3 and flopped onto the floor, sobbing my ass out. She took a deep breath, rolled her eyes, and trotted over me. She undid the bindings of her pip bag, shook it off, came over and removed mine, and then lifted me onto her back. There was a flash and pop like a light bulb, burning out as we collapsed on a filthy floor in some large ruined building. Spent bullet casings still gleamed on the floor, and the walls were deeply pitted with thousands of bullet holes. The wind whistled mournfully through the through the blown out window samber. Doja collapsed, her compact horn now blackened all the way to the base. She hissed, pressing her hooves to the spire and jerking them away as if dirt.
Ow.
She hissed over and over again. Doja was in pain, that much I could feel, even through my own little bubble of sorrow and self-loathing. I reached a hoof out toward doing the only thing I really knew how to do. Take our pony pain away. A sharp pleasant pain shot down the white star on my forehead, as I tried to draw the pain away from, well, if I was honest with myself, my friend.
Stop.
She repeated as she waved a hoof at me.
I can handle it. I just need too much teleporting. Too soon. Too much mass.
She groaned.
I'm talking like an egghead.
I'm sorry I'm so fat, I muttered.
It's my mass, kiddo.
She replied, taking a deep breath.
You can say a breather here. We decide you're not in a full freak out mode.
I shivered, feeling my body starting to calm itself down. I looked about the ruined building and marveled at all of the bullet holes. What in the world happened here? Where are we? I asked after working my tongue into some semblance of muscle.
Mare. It's on the outskirts of the hoof, so they haven't gone through and spiffled it up yet.
She said as looked around with a fond smile.
My friends and I came through and here a couple of times. Bad times, but it's somewhere I can remember. Can still be alone.
I looked out of a broken window and at the ruined airfield. That was the place where Blackjack had fought an enclave worthy back. The glory had been so cruelly branded and dashed. I shivered at that thought, and sniffed a little. I didn't understand how ponies who looked like me and could fly like me could be so cruel to one another. Do we really have to go talk to my mom? I asked quietly after a long moment of silence. I don't want you to hurt her, Blackjack.
I'm not an executioner, kiddo. I want to know if she's needs the caps or is she using you. If she needs the caps, then no harm, no foul. If she doesn't, then she's going to stop using you.
She said as she idly stuck bullet casings on end.
But one way or another, I have to do something I care too much about you not to.
Blackjack, there's a lot of things I don't like about Junction City. I don't want to go back there, I pleaded. What if she found out? What if what if she killed Blackjack? She just regarded me evenly before replying.
Why not? This is way more fun than I hate it, or you nearly wet yourself back there. That's not a simple hate or dislike, that's fear. No, if we are talking about the middle of the wasteland, fine. But you're talking Junction City. That means we want to know why.
Also, I want to add, like, if her mom actually will try to kill Blackjack, that would be punished.
Blackjack is unkillable.
Yeah, that would be punishment enough in and of itself.
But if
So
but
yeah,
if he tries killing Blackjack, she's gonna die.
yeah, that's pretty
Blackjack's the
much.
one who kills every pony in the end.
Ныть. Она будет ныть. Как будет на английском ныть?
Vine.
Whine, yes.
Whine.
She gonna whine. Ah, again.
Well,
No, please. Ah.
I think this time it wouldn't work because of Frenzy, and yeah. No, I mean because like Blackjack cares about Frenzy way too much to let something like that slip in.
Yeah, it's basically she doesn't give a shit about herself, but she loves the people around her, and she
Yeah,
is going
so
to kill other
because it's about Frenzy, the sob story is not going to work today. So yeah, like okay, you have the sob story. Did you see my friend over here? Okay, yeah, something like that. So yeah, that would be quite a meeting, let me tell you. Okay, sorry about that.
Я все равно не читаю, поэтому удалился.
Окей, Blackjack, wait. Blackjack, ты тут? Сейчас, в данный момент, будет очень важная сцена для фанфика. Пожалуйста. Пожалуйста, Blackjack. Потерпи немного. Хорошо? Blackjack.
Давай, да, давай,
Okay.
come on.
I found myself starting to shake as I look back at her. Blackjack, what if she tries to kill you? Well, there we go. I whispered. I didn't know why I was whispering. I didn't know why I thought that she could hear me. I just knew I didn't want my friend to get hurt.
Who?
She asked in turn, arching a brow and bubbling with amusement. I shuddered and curled my tail protectively around my hooves as I sat staring at the ground. It's not funny, Blackjack. I don't want to go back here. There is just a lot of really bad memories for me there. Please, let's just go home. I plead, hoping if I change the subject that Blackjack's crazy idea of going back to Dark City would go away.
Who's going to kill me?
She asked with a positively merry smile.
I really want to meet them.
I shrunk down a little bit. Blackjack, this mare did bad things to me. I don't want her to hurt you, or for her to get angry with my mom.
So it's not your mom.
She stated as her eyes narrowed a bit.
So who did bad things to you? Who's going to kill me? Because now I really want to meet her.
Amusement was now increasingly laced with cold anger. My eyes widened in fear as Blackjack started to get angry. She... I looked down at my hooves and curled my tail close around my legs. She's the mayor. She stared at me for a minute before giving a soft.
Huh.
When she resumes standing up with pen casings.
Guessing you're not in the mood for telling me what you did. That's fine. I can find out myself.
I looked up at her. Blackjack, I don't want you to feel my pain. And you scare me when you're angry. I looked out the window, wishing that it wasn't somewhat sunny and bright. Was everything like this in all the novels supposed to be overcast and stormy? I don't want you to think less of me for what happened. And I've never told anyone. Are you sure you want to know? I asked, feeling extremely vulnerable as I looked at her with my jade eyes. She looked out the
Uh,
window too, the golden light playing on her smile. Escalia?
yeah, I'm finding it. Yes. Since I came to all you Heartmenders do try is to help me and my pain. It's annoying. Some pain doesn't get helped, and all I wanted is to do is help you however I can.
She resumed standing her little squat corpse of brass.
Oh, I
I
want to hear it. If you want to tell it, like I said, I can. If you don't want to tell it, like I said, I can figure out the rest once I get there. You can't, if you can't share. I know something about trauma though. The kind, the
the,
sort of the sort
the short
kind,
the
the
short kind
short
of them.
kind, and not and the long kind. Get yeah.
I regarded her for a long moment, then trotted over to lay down in front of Blackjack's forehoofs. He started just after I got my cutie mark. I sat looking out at the sunshine, but enjoying the warmth of Blackjack's presence more than the light. They said there was something wrong with the mayor, something she needed a heart mender for. So Mama brought me to see her. I said, shivering slightly. The mayor said she always had a thing for Phyllis. Something that wasn't right. And by the time Pony got in wind of it, and instead of reporting her to the NCR, we wanted her to see a heart mender. I swallowed slightly, shivering again. Why did it feel so cold? Mayor Brightlight was supposed to be a nice mayor, so the ponies wanted to rehabilitate her. At least that's what Mom told me when she brought me to see her. So that's what I was supposed to do, I said quietly. Must it seem like a good idea, have a Philly Hartminer help a hill mayor who did bad things to little Phyllis. My cheeks felt hot as pain and shame rolled over me. I was crying again, damn it. I hated crying. I didn't want to be a crybaby. Except that heart-making only works if a pony wants to change, I said, choking up. And she didn't want to change. So for now a day, for 2 years, Mom dropped me off to see her, and did, she did things to me. She wouldn't stop. Mom wouldn't listen no matter how much I cried. Mom said I had to go, and that if I was having trouble with her, it was because I was too pretty. I stopped closing my eyes and letting tears roll down my face. Too pretty, and that was why she couldn't keep her hooves off of me.
Well, that explains some things. And there I thought you were just a little shy.
She said quietly as she continued to put casings on end. She had a positive forest of glittering brass beside her.
I wish I'd known. But if I. Oh, moment. Something is beeping. Shut the fuck up and leave me alone. Sorry. I wish I'd known, but I get why you didn't tell me. Daisy went through something similar. I never figured out until it was too late. Her mom hurt her the same way, and when I tried to stop it, nothing happened.
She said quietly, but in her was an icy nexus of hatred.
Well, don't worry. We'll have a few days to work something out.
Blackjack, this really isn't a good idea. Please don't make me face her, I begged. Willow saved me from her, from my mom, from everything. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. You first pony I've told this to. Even Willow Glen doesn't know.
Kiddo, it doesn't matter that it's a good idea or not. You've been wronged, and you're still being wronged. I need to make it right.
she said as they reached out and patted my mane.
You don't have to face either one of them. I'll handle it. Hopefully, you'll help me think up an idea to bring them to justice. But if not, no worries. You don't have to come with me now. If you don't want, I'll go and take care of everything.
I rolled over and curled up around her foreleg. The one that wasn't biting my mane. I don't want you to do something you'll regret, Blackjack. Sometimes your idea of justice involves a lot of blood and a lot of death. I said, mashing my face against the white coat of her chest. I, I'll go with you. I'm just really scared. She gave a chuckle.
Oh yeah, right now I'm thinking of lead pipes and confessions slurred through mouthfuls of blood and broken teeth. Even if they don't confess, they'll get something back. Not much as they deserve, not much more as they deserve,
She said as she pat my mane.
but some. I'm afraid I'll just have to kill them. So hopefully you can help to come with me and come up with an idea that's not going to end up in broken necks and splattered brains.
I nodded, closing my eyes, and her hoof slowly pat my mane. I, I, I'll think of something, I said softly, marveling at just how soft Blackjack could be, and how safe she could make me feel. Sometimes I forgot that she was almost a mom at one time. She probably would have made a really good one.
Come on.
She said, rising to her forehoofs and walking through a battered dining area to a shower and locker room. Most of them had been shot to hell, but Blackjack walked over to one with a strange keypad and typed in "regret." The door opened. Inside were two parts of saddlebags and a duffel bag. She pulled them out and set them beside her.
Something for a rainy day.
She told me with a smile as she unzipped the bag, exposing a trove of supplies, guns, and ammunition. I stuck my muzzle in the bag, looking over Blackjack's treasures. You and I have very different definitions of a rainy day, I said, pulling out what I thought was another IF-8 pistol. However, this one looked very different, with strange fiery red gems on it. What is this? I asked, delicately holding up the weapon. Where do the bullets go?
That's a disintegration pistol. Don't stick it up your nose.
Blackjack warned as she withdrew a set of brown leather buttons and strapped it onto her body. When the saddlebags?
I can teach you how to use it, but I only know the basics. Some things in the wasteland you need a little magic and weaponry to drop.
She had a pump-action shotgun and 10mm pistol that she checked before placing the weapons in the sling and holster.
But be fun doing this with no EFS like hardcore wasteland survival experience.
I nodded and slipped the smaller of the two saddlebags over my flanks. I grabbed a little holster for my pistol and little green crystal cartridges. When it took for ammo, I frowned, strapping my holster to my left foreleg. Thank you, Blackjack,
Oh, don't thank me.
she said as she stuffed the bag back in the locker.
This is a terrible idea. I'm super rusty. You're new. And it's a long way to Junction City.
Yet she didn't hesitate in the slightest. She felt almost happy as she walked past her little forest of casings and started out the door. A bright light filled the room. Then suddenly a burst of sparkles shot over Blackjack and I, a glitter bomb appeared above us and suddenly crashed onto the floor.
Hey! This isn't the bathroom the collegiate.
She waved at the two of us, and as I gave her the most confused look I think I'd ever given her.
You two don't know where the nearest Fearless room is, do ya?
I stared at Glitter a moment. Glitter, I didn't even know you could teleport.
I can, sort of. I've been practicing teleporting, so as soon as Sandalwood and you and Blackjack were missing, I teleported to you.
She said with a grin. I looked at her nonplussed. But how did you know we were there? But how did you know where we were? I asked, looking to Blackjack for support.
I didn't. I televisioned you.
But how could you teleport to me if you didn't know where I was? Glitter cocked her head to the side.
By teleporting to you?
She asked.
Makes no sense to me.
Blackjack said as she started out with me feeling baffled and little one following us merrily.
It's really simple if you think about it. It's not like you're trying to do math or something. It's like a weird cactus thing with all the funny letters.
I was doomed. And yet, despite what a terrible idea this was, how ill prepared we were, how much everyone was going to freak out at our disappearance, how utterly I dreaded our destination, I smiled a little. Level up! New
I'll
pair.
read it. Or you do.
Okay.
Read it.
Go ahead.
New perk.
Okay.
Extra special. You always knew what you were holding yourself back. +1 to strength. Quest perk. You shot security. Everyone whose school has done it. You gain 5 to speech. +5 to speech. And the disposition of anti-authority groups is threatened 1 higher of you.
It's treated as 1 higher for you.
Yes.
That's very good perk. Yes. Yeah. You shot security.
It's
Yeah,
the best
because-
perk ever.
Yeah. Everyone whose school has done it.
You want to read the second one? It isn't this long as the other.
Which one are you talking about? Which chapter?
Chapter 6.
No, I need to go to work soon, and no, we will take 2 chapters
Okay.
on Sunday.
I'm going to-
as-
I'm going to try to land in a fucking thunderstorm now, okay?
Okay. Go ahead.
I don't
So,
see anything.
Okay. Any thoughts on
Yes.
the chapter?
I loved it. I love Blackjack. I love Threnody. I want to... Nah. Poor little Threnody.
So, yeah. So now, when you know the backstory of a little bit of a backstory of Threnody, what would you say about it?
It was pretty apparent. Like I knew it
Yes.
as soon as I started getting those small signs. I knew something was up with her. So
Yes.
I was just like, okay, hang on, let's wait for what it comes out to be. And I,
Yeah, that was rather obvious. And yet, any thoughts on the mayor, her mom, etc.? Блэкджек, ты слушал то, что мы сейчас читали?
Я просто прочитал, мне было легче прочесть.
Понятно. И как тебе?
Вот, ну начинается, чё.
Ну, начинается. Как тебе
Начинается
предыстория
всё.
Тренеди?
В принципе, я этого и ожидал видеть, поэтому не сильно удивлен.
Ну да. Но
Вот.
тем не менее, согласись, что достаточно, скажем так, неприятно.
По-сомеровски.
flight slow. Flight
Да.
slow.
И это... Как тебе перк?
Нормальный
Квестовый.
перк. Годный.
Да. Годный перк, да. Очень годный.
Не все мои знакомые его получили.
Да. Так, ладно. В принципе, мне не по поводу
How did you like this chapter, Blackjack?
Yeah, I was just about to ask him that. Go ahead, tell us.
Мое
И-
мнение
я
об этой
пытался-
главе?
Yes, you can tell us in Russian if you're not comfortable.
Well,
with English,
It's just a chapter about starting of a great travel and well, just Fallout.
Right.
But this Fallout
Right.
has a much
Okay.
bigger intro. So it's always like an intro for traditional
Yeah, but
Fallout.
it's not gonna be that. I don't think this travel is gonna be that long. Also, Blackjack, what do you or not Blackjack? Just Blackjack and the Flooding. Are you two going to buy Fallout 76?
I am planning on to, but I'm not sure how much I will actually play it because I'm
It's
planning,
$60.
I
I'm
spent
extremely-
$80 for Fallout 4, and now I'm very angry on them. So
I just
Okay,
wanna.
yeah.
I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to make a role play because Fallout 76 will be multiplayer, so we could make a large role play in Fallout together.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because that'd be
Okay.
awesome.
That actually sounds nice because I think Angry Shooty and Safaru playing on something the same, so we can like
We
corporate
could
system as
combine
well.
it. Yeah, we could also ask
Yeah.
Satharu if he wanted to.
It is.
Yeah, so-
It's about half of a year before that.
Okay.
So
So Skylian, yeah, I am personally very skeptical about Fallout 76 because it's very different from my personal idea of what Fallout is supposed to, what Fallout game is supposed to be. Like, precisely, it shouldn't be multiplayer in my mind. I will give it a try. Like, I will buy it. I will play it.
I
And
think it's
when-
worth trying because this is a new thing.
I would say I was playing on the Rhino for a few hours and decided like for an hour and decided whether or not I want to refund it. But if you want me to stick with you and play, I think, as I said, I will give it a fair try. I will buy it, I will download it, and I will play it. Whether or not I will stick with this game or I will delete it and forget about it in a few hours, that remains to be seen. But I will give it a try. So if you want to show me the best part of the game, then I will be glad to play with you. Maybe you'll be able to convince me that this is actually a good game and it's worth playing. So who
We'll
knows?
see.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I am planning on getting it. I'm not sure if I will buy it at launch. That is remain to be seen. Because if I recall correctly, it's going to be released around the same time as Russian BronyCon, and I kind of want to attend,
Yes.
and it costs money, so...
I know, but if you pre-order the game, it's you can actually play it
Yeah,
before
but-
release.
Yeah, but see, first I need to
Speed.
buy a new monitor, then I need to buy a new microphone, then I need to save money to tickets to Moscow, then I need to save money to actually...
Yeah, I know.
господа, у нас
Moscow
идет
and-
запись. Recording is still on. Please.
Чувак, похуй.
Oh,
Чувак,
just
всем...
stop the recording then.
Нев, давай ты просто скажешь заключительную какую-нибудь фразочку, я закрою запись и вы продолжите.
Хорошо, спасибо всем, за то, что вы нас слушали эту зачитку. Надеюсь, вам понравилось. До новых встреч.
Всем
Закрывай.
пока.
Господи.
Let's go and say something for listeners.
Yeah, for all one person who will actually listen to it.
For that one person who will watch this video sometime. We all love you. Thank you for watching, faggot.
С учетом того, что это, возможно, послушает моя знакомая, это будет забавно. Все, да, закрываю.